The presenting sponsor of Upmarket is Aereo, the best place to grow and manage your real estate media business online at aereo.com. That's ARYEO.com. Coming to you from the makeshift Upmarket Studios in the beautiful Ojai Valley of Southern California, this is Upmarket, a podcast about the business of real estate photography and media. My name is Reed Fish. I'm the CEO and a co-founder of Upmarket Media. Only one co-founder today, though, Mark Corcoran, not with us. Chelsea Froelich, producing from afar. But we have a wonderful guest that we're going to get to in just a moment. Before we get to our guest, though, I do want to talk about PMRE, the Photography and Media for Real Estate Conference, which is happening in Las Vegas in November. It's November 8th and 9th with optional workshops on November 7th and 8th. This is the premier event for anyone in the real estate media business to connect with their peers, learn all about what's going on in the real estate media world. I've been the last 2 years. I spoke last year. This is such an amazing event. I really want to see all of our listeners. Well, we have too many listeners. It won't fit in the house. Let's just be honest here. Upmarket, the podcast has grown enough that we can double, triple the attendance of PMRE. But I want to see a lot of our listeners there. I'm going to be disappointed if you're not there, because then I will have to buy my own drinks, and that is terrible. But definitely go to PMREconference.com, and you're going to be able to sign up and get your ass to Vegas and party and learn and be with your people. Now, that said, this year at PMRE, it's going to be a pretty stellar lineup of speakers. I'm not going to be speaking on stage, so it's kind of sad, but our guest is. And our guest is Cody Boone, who is the supervising producer at SERHANT Studios in New York City. Cody, I think in our industry, you're kind of known as the wunderkind of real estate video. So I want to know, like, how, as this fresh, young, new voice on the scene, how do you approach doing a property video?
So I approach doing a property video like I would see a film, essentially. I want to try to create some sort of story for every single property that I shoot. And in New York, it ranges from your $300,000 studios all the way up to a $250 million penthouse. And the goal with each of these videos, though, is to tell a unique story and play along to the pros and the advantages of each apartment that I shoot, whether it's the building, whether it's the location, the neighborhood, it's the historical architecture, whether it's a notable person that's lived in the building or in that unit, anything that we can get, no matter how small, onto whatever, yeah, let's build a story around it. Let's make a video that's different from everything that you see. And I'm going to interject here, because it's, perfect. It's my prerogative. I think you had that $250 million penthouse, and I think I saw that video. I'm notorious for not watching real estate, videos, but fair enough.
I did watch it, and it's like this penthouse thing, and it's way up in the top, right by Central Park, right? And it's like, but you were able to do like drone footage of that thing, right? Which aren't you not? And I'm not familiar. I've never tried to fly my drone in Manhattan, but I'm guessing it's a little restrictive. So how the hell did you pull that off?
It's a little restrictive. It's a lot of ask for forgiveness, not permission kind of thing. And knock on wood that the FAA hasn't come knocking yet. I don't know if
they're big listeners of this podcast, so maybe we should cut this part.
Well, that might be a little bit of an issue. I might have just outed myself there, but it's within airports. LaGuardia is the closest airport from there, so I just made sure that I can get permission from there, and it's the whole you can go within the vicinity of a building within like 200 feet, or you can go 400 feet above. That kind of rule. I know in New York you have the whole shebang with the NYPD kind of thing, but I'm so high up that no one is really able to see. I was just taken off from the terrace. I think I did about 4 flights total, and each of them were equally as gut-wrenching and terrifying.
Well, that's what I think. I feel like if I fly my drone and there's like power lines nearby, I'm like, the whole time I just have this pit in my stomach. And every time I get my drone up, 400 feet, which is not that often, it does. It makes me like physically nervous. So I cannot, honestly, I cannot even imagine taking off from the terrace of this high rise and then flying it around and not just feeling terrified the entire time.
It's incredibly terrifying, but as long as I have a drone and there's like a place to take off, Ryan tells me, he's just like, just do it. You can do it.
Oh, easy for him to say.
And yeah, I know. And I'm like, well, if I get a fine, that's on you, mister.
Yeah, well, it is actually.
The craziest thing about flying there too is on the terrace. It's a 1,400 square foot terrace. So it's a big terrace, but it's all lined with 10-foot tall, like triple pane glass, right? So you don't feel the wind or anything either. And there's not really an easy way to tell like how windy it is. And so there's little tiny cracks in like the margins and the corners of the windows. And I'm like sticking my hand out, try to feel how windy it is or anything either.
Because you're up that high, because you're already taking, like, how many feet up in the air are you taking off, right?
You're 1,422 feet in the air.
Which is what it's over triple what you can actually legally fly. I mean, obviously if you're around a building, but it's like that is way the hell up there for one of those drones.
Helicopters are flying below you. It's nuts. And so like flying at sunset was the hardest thing to do, because at sunset you have all the tourism helicopters that go and fly around Central Park and everything too. And it's like the depth perception is hard. Like you can't tell 100%. Necessarily how high they are above you, if they're below you, how far away they are. And so, I mean, of course there's probably rules on how close those helicopters can fly, but in that event, I think I did one, the only time I did sunset, it was after like the sun had already gone past the horizon. All the helicopters are going back essentially. So twilight essentially. I took off and, like you go past the glass, you go up like 15 feet and you back up across the glass, and then you see the drone start to wobble and everything, and you get a feeling of like actually how windy it is. Terrifying. And actually too, if you watch that video and you watch the twilight shots, you can see me sitting on the terrace, just like in one of the shadows, because you close the door, of course, connection's gone. And so there was times in the beginning. No, it's just me talking about it right now. I'm like getting anxious about it too, but I'm like, I did it. I got the shots. The Central Park was green. I got Central Park in the fall and I got it in the winter too. And I was like, nope, I'm good. I don't need to go up again.
Well, and you just don't, what the stakes are too. I mean, because honestly, if you if you lose control of that thing and it hits the building or whatever and it falls, I mean, like it was an older one, back in the DJI Phantom days. One time, and I always go back to this, and whenever anyone like tries to push me to do drone on when I'm not comfortable or over people or something, I always go back to one time I was flying my Phantom 3 and I got and it was like I had just taken off and I was like 50 feet up, and I got a readout on my phone and it said battery malfunction. And I was like, oh, that's
I've never
bad.
had that.
And so I immediately was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and land. And so I started going down, and then it just was vroom, vroom. And then it just stopped, and it just dead weight dropped right out of the air, 50 feet, hit in the middle of the road. And it was, there was no cars or anything, so it was okay. But it was at that moment I was like, oh, if that hits a kid, it kills them. I mean, there's just no doubt about it, right? And I know the drones are a little smaller now, but if you have a 4-pound drone that's falling 1,400 feet, I mean, it's gonna destroy whatever it hits. So I mean, the stakes are actually pretty damn high with that, and it's all fun to talk about. But man, if something goes wrong, my God.
I had something like that happen in New York. It was probably a year and a half ago now. I was shooting on the west side of Manhattan, right on the water. And there's this row of buildings on Riverside Boulevard. And so I was there for a sunset shoot because we listed in one of the buildings, right? So I take off, and immediately it's like restricted airspace, and it lands itself. And this was the Mavic 2 at the time. And I go through, and it's like, okay, so the president's in town and everything's a no-fly zone. But it gave me the option to go through the authorization and put my phone number in, all of that stuff. I'm qualified to fly, all that. So I was like, you know what? Like, I'll do it. So I went through the authorization. It told me I was good. And so I was able to take off again. So I don't know, I go 100 feet up and I start just pushing forward towards these row of buildings. All of a sudden, like screen freezes. I lose all control and I just see the drone beeline straight forward, full speed, nails into a window and starts spiraling down this close to hitting two people. And I was this like, close to, my life is over.
That was like an inch. Yeah. For people not watching on YouTube. Yeah.
And I run over there, I grab the drone, and like, there's this one middle-aged woman who's like, what the heck? Like, what are you doing? All that stuff. You could have hit me.
New Yorkers famously say, what the heck? Yes.
Yeah. What the heck?
Might have been a little stronger. Yeah.
That was the most scared I've probably been in the time that I've lived in New York. That was terrifying. And it almost hit this other older woman, but she was a lot more curious. She comes up to me. She's like, what was that? Yeah. And I was like, oh, it's just a drone. I'm just taking some photos. She's like, oh, what are you taking photos of? I'm like, oh, just the sunset. I'm flying recreationally, all that stuff.
Yes,
and she's like,
absolutely. Recreationally.
Yeah. And she starts asking who I work for. And I'm like, oh, I work for myself. And she's like, oh, do you have a website? And I'm like, no, it's under construction. And then she's like, can I see the drone? And I'm like, no, it's in shambles. Like, it's broken. She's just like, how do you take the photos from it? And so I just like whip it out, show her. And I'm like, it's back in the backpack. I'm like, I have to go. Yes. I knew she was just trying to get my information too, to probably report me too. But I was like, I'm sorry, lady. But I ran. Yeah. That was terrifying. But luckily, knock on wood again, nothing that bad has happened. Haven't lost any in the water. Right. Haven't hit any buildings. But one of the biggest things is, one of the biggest things that's hard is terraces. Like your terraces aren't that wide either. So it's hard to take off from the ground. So a lot of times I'll have one of my coworkers, they're holding the drone. I take off and then they catch it when we come back and stuff too. I did get in one, it was legal, but I was doing a drone shoot for a developer in the financial district close to the World Trade Center, take off, and I was doing photos for renderings, right? So taking photos every 10 floors of the view so they can composite those into the renderings. So I did all of it. It was a morning shoot. So it was like 8 to 12. So I go to lunch and I was going to come back for sunset, and the client texts me. He's like, hey, NYPD's in the lobby. Someone called about the drone. And I'm like, yeah. And so he's like, send over your license and everything. And so I send him my license information, and they go through, and he's like, all right, NYPD counterterrorism is on the case, and they're shutting down the sunset shoot. And I'm like, oof, this is not good. Right. And so thankfully I had to send him the footage to show that like I wasn't going far away from the building. Cause I was within 50 feet of the building. So NYPD was like, yeah, it's within the building's like air rights per se. So they didn't have an issue with it. They were just like, just check with the precinct next time. But now I'm probably on some counterterrorism watch list or something too.
Well, as you should be. So how do we, the one of the $250 million penthouse, where do we see that video? What video is that?
So that's on YouTube. It's on Instagram. It's on TikTok.
It's everywhere. But
it's on LinkedIn.
Is there a title?
It's everywhere.
But how do we find it?
So
Cody Boone, $250 million. Is that what we searched?
No, unfortunately not Cody Boone, but it'd be Ryan Serhant, Central Park Tower penthouse. Okay. I think the title is like touring the most expensive penthouse in the world, something like that. It's on Ryan Serhant's main channel. All
right. We'll be sure to watch that so you can see Cody cowering in fear in the shadows.
Yes.
Okay, so you are like, you're working for SERHANT, and which is as someone me like who doesn't know that much about real estate, that's one of the the kind of the hot luxury brands of real estate now, and obviously you're in the most expensive real estate market in the country. So can you tell me a little bit about what your job is? Because I think unlike a lot of people who listen to this podcast, we all have our kind of independent businesses where we have all these we have all our clients and everything, but it sounds like you're just kind of working for Ryan Serhant and like on a staff position.
Correct. Yeah. So I'm a full-time staff position at SERHANT Studios. And so my role as a supervising producer, I lead essentially the brokerage department of studios for the company. So I have a team of 6 people in New York, the Hamptons, as well as Miami. And so we shoot all of the property tours for all of the agents. We're averaging anywhere from 40 to 50 property tours per month. And that's including main property tours, social cuts, photos, any of that stuff as well. So I'm in charge of leading that. And I also lead all of our video production for our new development properties, which is a really big market and a big industry, like sub industry within just real estate in New York. Because constantly things are being built, and new developments need the right marketing to be able to hit the right demographic and end up selling too. So that's a big part of what we do as well.
Right. Wow. So, but how many of these are you actually like shooting yourself? I mean, are you shooting all these videos?
So,
I mean, and you're probably not flying down to Miami 4 times a month or whatever.
I've been we just hired about a month or two ago. We just hired a producer in Miami since we're opening up an office there. So thankfully, I'm not going as much. But I mean, I've probably been 4 times this year only, going back in September and a couple other times this year as well. But I was the only one shooting property tours when I started almost 3 years ago. And so I would be doing 3 property tours in a day. I would come back to the office and I'm editing property tours till like 10 p.m. But thankfully, it's not like that anymore. We've grown, we've scaled, and I've had a team now too. So we have 4 people on my team in office. One of them is directly an editor, so he's only editing videos, and I have 2 other producers alongside me. So I'm shooting a majority of the signature listings, which is anything over 10 million. And I'm shooting a lot of the new development stuff. I'm one of the only drone pilots, so I'm doing a lot of the drone work. If an agent requests drone and stuff like that, I'll go and shoot the property tour as well. But I mean, I'm shooting 2 to 4 property tours per week. And then everyone else on my team, we're shooting anywhere from 3 to 6 videos every day as a team, weather permitting, of course.
Right. And then are you doing any editing now, or are you just like supervising?
Yeah, so I do editing. I'll edit some of the signature videos, so the high-end ones that I'm there shooting with Ryan, and they want something special with it too. I'm editing a lot of the big projects, but a lot of my day-to-day too is now kind of just managerial work. I'm directing the team, making sure we're up to date on client relations, which just communicating with our agents, making sure everything in the pipeline is being edited, sent out, working with our social team to make sure things are getting posted, meeting with developers, stuff like that too. So I'll do editing, and honestly, I think I've just done so much real estate editing in the past 4 years that I've been shooting. I'm kind of tired of it too, but I think there are times where we'll have a fun project that I get to like put my little spin on and have some fun with too.
Well, and then are you guys doing a lot of different kinds of stuff? I mean, you kind of have that classic, like, as you call it, a property tour, but is Ryan getting on camera? I mean, are you really putting the agents front and center, or is it still all about the property?
Yes. Yeah. It's honestly, it's like a 60-40. It's more about the agents than it is about the property too.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what we always say. That's what we always say about video. It's actually marketing. Well, it's what we say about everything we do. It's actually marketing the agent. It's not marketing the property.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. Like the property is only going to be there for a finite amount of time, but like our goal is for these agents to be able to use these videos for the next pitch that they're doing. Absolutely. Anything like that, they'll be able to repurpose those. And so we have like 3 different tiers of video offerings that we do. The first one just being what we call like a virtual tour, which is just a 1 minute, mainly B-roll video, but we give the agents the option to be on camera for the intro. Some are not as comfortable. Some are like, let's do it. But we've done performance tests and like analytic research on all of our videos that we've done. And it's like the performance on a video with an agent in front of the camera at the beginning of the video versus just B-roll for the entire thing. It's like 10x times performance and then when you're seeing a human.
Yeah. Well, and then when you're posting those, and because I was just thinking about this today in terms of like, thumbnails on YouTube or whatever. And I don't know if that's the primary avenue where people are finding your videos, but like say just for instance, when I do, post a video of this podcast, I just, as the thumbnail, I just throw up like a banner of our logo. And instead of like doing the, like you and me, like sitting there with like derp faces and like, whatever, like you won't believe what Cody Boone said, and I feel like cause I can't make those thumbnails, and then I would have to pay someone to do it. And it would have to be one more thing on my list and whatever. But I wonder if, and we're such a niche podcast, it's probably not, it probably doesn't actually matter. But especially when you're going for mass market stuff, like real estate stuff, if you have kind of that thumbnail. And so what are you doing for your thumbnails?
So thumbnails, honestly, like we've thought about like, oh, let's include a photo of the agent in it. Let's include a price or anything like that. Like, honestly, the photos, just like listing photos, if it's a high quality listing photo, like analytically, those perform very well. A good rule of thumb for YouTube click-through rate is like the percentage of people that are seeing it and actually clicking on the video. A standard is like anywhere from 4 to 8%. Our click-through rate averages around 5 to 6%, which is good. And so we've messed around with a couple different variations and stuff too. But honestly, if we skew right now away from that and start putting agents or prices or anything like that, it creates more headaches for us because it's another thing that we have to edit, like you said. And two, like we put listing prices on it, sure, but then what happens when that price gets reduced and we have to go and search that video and change the thumbnail and stuff too. But standard, just like the best photo, it's usually some sort of interior photo, since a lot of these exterior photos, tall buildings, they're vertical anyways too, so it's hard to make that into like a 16:9. But living room images, like biggest thing that we found too that perform better, twilight photos. And we always say that when we're marketing to agents, do twilight photos and everything, but when it comes to YouTube, it's true. Like our top 5, like most popular videos are like twilight drone photos or like some sort of drone rendering.
Well, and I mean, it's the whole idea of how that's how we sell twilights to our agents. That's how we sell virtual twilights. You're like, you don't want to do twilights? Yeah, just cheap out. Pay us $25 for this virtual twilight. It looks like shit, but in the thumbnail, people click on it. So it's like, hey,
100%.
It's fine. If you want to pay me $25, I'll give you shit. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Even though the base level videos for like the virtual tour, like I was talking about, those are completely free to SERHANT agents, which is a big recruiting factor and a big driver for agents to come. Because I mean, if you price the videos that my team creates on like a freelance market, you're going to be paying $1,000 for the video too. And so they're getting a very good value.
Do they get photos included too, or is it just the video product?
No, so photos are third-party vendors. That's just something that we've opted not into offering, because each agent has their own style and they have relationships with different photographers. It's like we're not trying to come and monopolize the entire media market for an entire brokerage. Well, like we know we're good at video, so we're exactly.
Well, and video is where it's at. I mean, and that's where you can kind of innovate more than in the. I mean, photos you can there's only so much you can do. With video, it's like it's kind of I mean, you kind of have what you can do, but then there's a lot of ways to riff off that. So.
Yeah.
All right, Cody, I think we're off to a good start. But you know what?
I think we're off to a great start.
I'm tired. So we're going to take a little break. We're going to have our social media sidebar. We're going to come back and we're going to talk more about PMRE because you're going to be there. You're going to be speaking at PMRE and you are going to be doing a workshop. And so I want to hear all about that in the last half of the show. And then apparently we got one of these highfalutin New York style action items. This is going to blow everyone's mind. So we're excited to hear that at the end. All right. So everybody stick around, please. Oh, baby. Aereo's where it's at. Look, I mean, they're in their summer of new features and releases. The first one just came out. Look, they've revamped the Aereo Go app on your phone. So you and your team have a much better experience using Aereo on the go. I mean, a lot of cool features dropped on that. And then if you are one of the people like us who have an Aereo website for your company, a white label website for your company, a white label app for your company, well, they revamped that too. So it's a better experience for your customers. So look, Aereo, they're just doing all the stuff all the time, making their product better, super responsive to any questions, super responsive to any issues. Aereo is the one place that I trust to go online to help grow my real estate media business. So that's aereo.com, ARYEO.com. Look, use the code Upmarket as a new user, and you're going to get 15 free bonus listings. That's money. That's money in the bank right there. And we all need that right now. Aereo.com. I remember when I was growing up, I had a closer relationship with my grandma. The one thing she always told me is like, Reed, if you're buying a house, make sure you see a floor plan. Rest in peace, Grandma. And it's still true today. Grandma's wise words. All buyers want to see floor plans. So that means agents want to give buyers floor plans. So that means it's on us to sell floor plans to our agents. And what is one of the best ways that a real estate media professional can use a floor plan, make a floor plan? It's Second Floor app. Second Floor, the easiest, fastest, and most inexpensive way to make a floor plan. You can make a floor plan via their ingenious app in moments, and then you can deliver it to your client before you even leave the house. That is how fast it is. If you want a free month, go to secondfloorapp.com/upmarket, and you're going to get a free month of service. In that free month, you can do so many floor plans. It's going to be well worth your while. Second Floor app. We love it. All right, social media sidebar. We're Upmarket Pod across all social media. Are you not following us? What's the problem? You got to follow us. Send us messages on Instagram. I love checking those Instagram messages. I'm getting all these hot DMs from dudes asking about what tripods we use. It's really fantastic. Also, if you want to check out Upmarket Media, our flagship company, we're upmarket.media across all social media, and that's our website. So if you want to see, if we actually know what we're talking about, you can go check us out there. And then, that's kind of it. So Cody, if we want to see your stuff, are we just following SERHANT? Are we following you? What are we doing? How are we doing this?
I need to get a little bit better at that, honestly, posting my own stuff. But a lot of my work is SERHANT. I mean, Instagram, I'll post a lot on the stories. I could post more videos or stills or anything like that, but my Instagram is just at Cody.Boone. Honestly, working on the website, trying to get that up. I gotta update that.
You speak like a guy who has a job. You have a job, though. I mean,
I'm too busy managing other people's social medias to manage my own. Of course, and that's a problem for a lot of us, honestly.
Oh, of course. I mean, it's just we're producing all this content for people, and it's like, oh yeah, we got to post it on our feed too. So
exactly,
it's
it's a work in progress.
Yeah, I mean, for us to make a reel of this of the podcast is like, oh yeah, we got to do that. Oh yeah, I got to post. Oh, what a pain in the ass. So, but where are we going to follow SERHANT then? Is it SERHANT? Can we spell this out? Can we see
everywhere? Yeah.
SERHANT, right?
Yep. SERHANT, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, LinkedIn, Facebook.
You're active in the Facebook groups a bit, right?
I am. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's, and Facebook, I think is the way for people in the real estate media to really connect. And so, you have the real estate photography group, you have the real estate media group, there's subgroups off of those. So, there's so much good information and, maybe some.
I honestly post more in those groups than I do on my actual social media. So
yeah, of course.
If you want to see my work, then you'll definitely check out real estate videography, all of those too. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those groups for sure.
What do you mean by that?
I got into those groups so early that it was probably 2018, 2019. I started and I was just trying to be I shot a property tour and I just absorbing this new industry kind of thing. And I mean, video from 2019 to now is so different too. And I started by just seeing these videos. I started actually because of watching Ryan Serhant's videos, which is a cute little full circle moment. I know it's so cute, but the real estate videography groups, I met so many people. This is how I know about the PMRE conference and everything too. I was able to find mentors through there and everything too. So it's been very good to me. As probably one of the youngest members. I mean, I probably was at the time, but I know there's people younger than me on there now.
Well, that happens because, we all grow up, Cody.
Exactly. I know. we all go away, let our wings spread. And then all of a sudden, here's the thing, dude. I feel like you're young, but you know what? You're going to be old soon. It happens to all of us. It happens. If we're lucky, we get to be old, and it does happen pretty damn quickly. So yeah,
enjoy it, kid.
Working on it. It's crazy. It feels like I moved to New York yesterday, but it's been close to 3 years.
Wow. Well, yeah. And I think that goes to it. You know, sometimes, you know, we talk about social media in the way of like we're doing self-promotion and all that, but I think social media, and especially within our industry, can be a great avenue for people to learn. And, you know, there's so many of these groups on Facebook that can't, you know, and honestly, they can get a little toxic at times, but I think there's a lot of good people, a lot of good information in there.
Oh, yeah.
So I would, you know, and I think, you know, there's, you know, what Cody is saying, I mean, he's risen to the top. He's the creme de la creme of real estate media video people. And, you know, he cut his teeth in these groups. So I think anyone who, you know, wants to be better at their jobs, I think is good, well advised to be a member of these groups. I mean, without a doubt.
And it's free. Like, why not? It's like, I'll get shit from my friends. They're like, oh, what are you doing on Facebook? I'm like, well, a lot. I guess.
Because the kids don't use Facebook. Yeah, it's the old.
Yeah, nobody my age uses Facebook, but I'll check it once or twice a day. If I make a cool video, I'm gonna post it there before anybody else sees it. So if you want exclusive content, then head over to Facebook. Okay,
there you go. Okay, that is the pitch right there. All right. Yep. That's enough social media talk. I'm sick of talking about social media. So let's we'll come back with a lot more with Cody. Okay, so Cody, I want to talk about PMRE because you're going to be doing a ton there. You're going to be on stage for like an hour talking about, well, I don't know, you'll tell us what you're talking about. You're going to do a workshop. But more importantly, I think you're going to be in Las Vegas drinking legally. So I realized that you have actually never been to PMRE, and this is going to blow people's minds. It blew my mind. But you're just turning 21 right before the conference. So
September.
I mean, honestly,
I've heard about PMRE for
what the fuck is up with that? I mean, this is like, how can you be doing this and be 20 years old? This is ridiculous. I'm annoyed.
I feel like I have a brain and like mentality of probably like a mid to late 20-year-old, but I'm stuck in a body of a 20-year-old. And ever since I was a kid, I've just been waiting for me to become an adult too. And finally, I'll be able to finally
well, at 18,
get
you're
through
an
it.
adult. Come on.
But you
can't drink. You can't drink because of our the alcohol laws in the United States. I mean, whatever.
I still have the hardest.
Be fine.
Exactly. I still have the hardest time just renting a fucking car in this city. Luckily, New York.
You got 4 more years. Buddy.
Well, so they allow you from 18 to 25 to rent a car, but they just charge you extra and stuff too. Right. But like, I can't even make a Hertz account. They won't let me make an account, so I just have to. It's just I can do a lot, but I can't rent a car apparently.
Okay, so you're going to be a fresh 21-year-old, and you're going to be up on stage telling all us olds how to do shit. So what are you going to tell us? Give us a preview. So we have time to absorb it because our brains are way less elastic than yours. So I'm going to need all this time to kind of absorb the knowledge.
Yeah, it's real estate through my eyes and how I think about it. Basically, it's what is my thought process?
Specifically real estate video is what you're going to talk about on stage. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Real estate videos, what I'm thinking about, how I'm telling stories. I'm going to give examples of a variety of different places that I've shot and how I've told a unique story for each of those. And basically just convey the point that like, you don't have to be in New York City to make a dope video with a dope story. You can take the basis and the thesis of each video that I create too, and morph that into your own market. And there is no reason why, like, it doesn't have to be just like super vanilla just to get the job done too. Like, instead of just pumping out all these videos, let's take a step back. Let's increase that quality. Let's have more fun while creating these videos. Let's get more creative. Let's be able to charge more, and let's get the agents on camera too. Get them involved. Let them help tell the story too, because you're going to be able to create that deeper connection with the agent. They're going to trust you more. You're going to grow with them. As their team grows, they go with you. You'll be able to charge them more. Anything like that too. So I'm really excited to give you guys my point of view on it.
Yeah. Well, and then, so you'll be up on stage doing that, but then you have a full day workshop. What day is your workshop?
My workshop, believe, is the day 2 days before. It's the 7th. So I am going to have, right now I have 12 spots open. We're about halfway sold out too. We're going to go to a luxury listing in Vegas, and you're going to be on site with me. And I'm going to show you what is my thought process. What are my techniques? Yeah. Well, you're gonna miss out, man, because it's probably gonna be the best workshop out there. Yeah.
But I think so. Yeah. I'm sorry. No jokes. I'm sorry. So if you're there, you're gonna be on site with Cody and.
Yep. Yeah. So on site with me, and basically like we're going to create a property tour from scratch. I'm going to show you what I'm thinking about, whether it's composition, lighting, how I'm going to shoot the angles of the rooms. And also after all of it's together, we're going to regroup after a couple of weeks, and I'm going to show you my end product. We're going to, we're going to go together, and I'm going to give you guys basically a tell-all of what goes through Cody Boone's head when he goes and creates a property tour of anything. And so while it may be a luxury listing and stuff too, these are all going to be techniques and advice that you'll be able to take into your own market too, because a house is a house at the end of the day, and you're still going to have to keep those things in mind, no matter the price point that you shoot.
Yeah. Well, no, and all joking aside, I think that's really great, because I know for us, and I know I've been feeling, frustration from my staff, even of like, we're just doing the same goddamn thing every single time, and you all of a sudden you're pumping out 10 of these videos in a week, and it's just like, it just gets monotonous. And so I think to be able to look at them in a different way and think about them in a different way is powerful. And, and then the one thing that you said earlier that piqued my interest too was that, hey, if you change up what you can do, you can actually charge more, because I think we just get in this, and I know at Upmarket, we get in this rut of like, well, we have our video product and it's this amount of money and this is just what we do. It's, and we just, as you're scaling your business, you just want to make things repeatable and easy. So, so we actually don't have to have our employees think, but at the same time, there's a lot of value, especially when you're on the luxury end of having your actual employees have to think. And then I think they actually enjoy that. They want to flex their creative muscles.
Exactly. And even just building out tiered packages and stuff too. Like if you have a team too, you can build out that just standard cut and dry, cut and paste package and churn those out too. But then you can also have that little upcharge of like, all right, let's tell a story. Let's get creative. Let's make this time block a little bit more. I'm going to give you more time. We're going to be able to shoot more. We'll get you on camera. Let's do some voiceover if we need anything like that. We're going to have more fun doing it too. And you're going to end up with a higher quality product that you're going to be more proud to use and to represent your brand. Like there's so many videos out there now, and it's so saturated that it's very key for the next like 5 years, and however technology advances, that we're on that forefront of just doing something different that people will actually remember you by. Like one of the biggest things for me is like, I want someone to watch a video and be like, that's a Cody Boone video.
Right. Well, I think you've done that to a certain extent.
I think I've done a good job at it. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I would like to see you shoot like a house in like, Missouri. And have it be the Cody Boone video, because we're used to seeing the Manhattan videos,
Yeah, we just expanded out to we're expanding down the East Coast too. So we opened up this year in 6 different markets. So like Connecticut, Jersey, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida. I was just down in North and South Carolina with our new teams there shooting, and it's like we're doing property tours for $300,000-$400,000 homes that are maybe 3-4 beds, just like nothing out of the ordinary, just very like standard homes. And it's like we're still getting them on camera, and we're bringing the energy, and we're like getting people excited about the property, even if it's not that exciting of a property too. Like one example, like we shot one that was, I think, around like $350,000-$400,000. It was like a 3-bed, and only the living room and the primary bedroom were staged, and the lot wasn't anything extraordinary. There were power lines in the backyard and everything too. Let's position, and so we ended up positioning that video as like, you're buying into this community that is now growing. There's proposals for rapid transit in the area. So we got the drone up, and we went around to some other like community shopping centers and stuff like that too. And it's like, when people are buying, they want to know more than just about the house too. And if we can save them that time and give them a little sneak peek of what the neighborhood and what the community they're moving into looks like, they're going to be even more like likely to actually reach out to the agent and say, hey, let's go look at it. I'm actually enticed because of the community, maybe more than I am about the house itself.
Well, I feel like you hearing that, I think you're a little bit of an advantage to a lot of our listeners, because like, if you guys are like all on like, like salary, you're not getting paid by the job. Right. And so it's
that is true.
And so like, it's hard for me to see how in a $350,000 house, there's the budget to be able to be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go and, let's drive for half an hour and we'll get all this and we'll get all that, where it's like, like so many of us are just like, well, I can give this 45 minutes and we're going to be here at the house and that's it. So, but I don't mean that as like a negative about you whatsoever, but I think it of that model of like having that, just working for the brokerage and being on the salary, well, then you can really, I think it gives you the luxury to really think about video in a different way than so many of us do. And I think that's why, to me, the value that you're going to bring to PMRE, to being on stage and also being in the workshop, is you've had the luxury of being able to think about video in a different way than a lot of us have because of the constraints that we have. So I think if we can kind of learn some of those things from you that you've been able to think about, this is like a shortcut for us then to be able to kind of put those things into our own videos without having to, go through that whole process. So it just clicked in my mind. Now I'm going to take your workshop. Now I'm going to take your workshop. So I'm in.
As you should. I'm not complaining. And even like for the one that I was just telling about in North Carolina, honestly, it was 45 minutes on site, like shooting with the agent, doing the introduction, doing voiceover. And it was just them like reading in front of a phone, that I'm going to put over B-roll, shooting the house, getting, B-roll, and like the drone. And with the community stuff, that was me just taking the drone up and I shot it over, I don't know, half a mile or something too, shot like the neighboring freeway and stuff like that. And it's like, like the new drone, we have the Mavic 3 Pro Cine. So it has the 3 lenses and stuff too. So that like 3X, just to get that little bit more zoom, makes it look so much better. I don't have to fly as far. And it's actually really nice about shooting in New York as well. I don't have to get as close to the buildings either. You have that really cinematic compression, but getting off topic, it took me an extra 15, 20 minutes just to shoot that little community part. And for her to propose that to me, I had no idea there's rapid transit coming to that area of Charlotte. But for her to say that, and I was like, okay, I know that's going to make the video better. I know that's going to make the quality of my work better. And if I'm thinking about it from a freelance perspective, this is another add-on that I might not have thought about that I can do now to agents. And whether it's on my website, on my pricing sheet, or we're on site and they say something like that, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna make sure I'm just gonna bill them afterwards for it too. It is a way to just expand your offering and do more things. And even when I was freelancing in California, and I do freelance real estate stuff on the side out of state. Like I have a client that I work with in Minnesota a good amount. I'm actually going there this weekend too. But with that, it's just new offerings, and I want to work with the agent. I want to make them happy at the end of the day too. So being able to take a little step back, I know that you still have to do all these shoots, but just say like, this work is benefiting me because then I'll be able to show these to more people, but I know this work is benefiting them. And if I just go a little bit above and beyond for this agent, I know that I'm on their good side and they're going to continue to use me instead of going with someone else that might be cheaper.
Yeah.
And just becoming friends with the agents.
It's just bringing the value. No. And
exactly.
And as with most businesses, it's a relationship business. So if you have that and but as we are our podcast is really focused on scaling our business and, sometimes, and, we get that where it's, it's our staff who's out in the field. So, to have that, but going that extra mile then can help. And then you can follow up with like, oh yeah, did you see that video? Then I can kind of follow up with the agent and be like, oh yeah, we really, we do all the stops out for you, buddy.
Yep. Just sweet talk them. Real estate agents are easy. You just tell them they look pretty and they'll love you forever. Real estate agents are, well, they're crazy and easy. Yeah. Tell me about it. Exactly.
I will tell you. Oh yeah. Do you have some crazy, well, we always love a crazy realtor story.
there is way too many to probably recall. I mean, New York it's a different kind of thing. It's like, I mean, I came from California, so I was working with Orange County agents, and then you'd get the posh like Newport Beach agents, and then I ended up working my way up to LA, and I was working with like the LA like multifamily agents that are all surfer bros, but then you have the posh like super chic Beverly Hills, Bel Air agents and stuff too. And it's like, I mean, I'll still go back and work with those people. Like if Ryan ever goes out to LA, I go out with them and stuff too. And so it's like, we're shooting with
they'll be SERHANT LA soon enough, I'm sure.
Yeah. We're basically like 13 colonies all the way down the East Coast, and we'll make our way west eventually. It's so like,
just don't come to Ventura County. That's all I ask. So.
All right. Maybe that'll be our next stop.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll still need photos. We'll only hire.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, good. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, just take all our video work and
we'll only hire.
We'll do the photos. Thanks, man. Yeah, thanks.
We'll only hire studios members for places where we'll open up a physical office. So right now it's New York, Hamptons, and Miami. For like North Carolina, South Carolina, all that stuff is the agents are taking on the responsibility of just coming under our umbrella of brand, and they get to open up their offices if they want to or anything like that. So we have an agent in South Carolina that opened up a little office in one of the the Westin Hotel, and it's just a good place for foot traffic and stuff too. And it saves the company as a whole money because we're not fronting the cost of those office spaces, and we're just focusing on those big markets and stuff too. But it's then also my job to then train the media teams that work with those agents historically to then say, like this is how we'll do videos and stuff too. And thankfully, again, knock on wood, the agents. Yeah. The media teams that we've worked with already are very, very like open to learning our style and everything too, which is one of my biggest worries. Cause as photographers and videographers, we all have egos, we all have styles and everything too. And if some big corporation came over to me and said, you're going to do videos my way, I would be like, fuck you kind of thing. But luckily the markets that we've worked with in Philadelphia, Creative Outfit, in North Carolina with Roosterfish, like they've been amazing and they're willing to learn from us on what we do. And they already make really solid videos anyways, so it's not a huge
So
curve.
What you're doing, so when you guys are when you have these less of your main offices, so then you are, even though the agents at SERHANT are videos included for them, what you're doing is you're subbing out the video to another outfit at that point.
Yes.
Okay.
Any of those markets that we don't have a physical office in and don't have like any staff members in, the agents are going to work alongside their existing media teams and stuff too. And
but with you kind of overseeing like quality control and like
it's like quality control in the beginning. Any market that we'll go to, I flew down to North and South Carolina for a week and I was with them for a couple of days each, and just they're shadowing me, just kind of learning how I direct and how I shoot and what I'm actually looking for and everything too. And then they're shooting some videos and they'll just run it by us, and honestly just like, thank God again, like the videos have been fantastic and there's not a whole lot of work that we have to do. It's like, you guys can go and do your own thing.
I think seeing it, and you know it from being in the groups. If you look all around the country, people are doing cool work in so many different places. And
totally.
I think the days of it, like, oh, we're in New York and we do the best stuff, those are over. You might, the thing is, the real estate you're shooting is the most expensive, and, and so it allows you some bigger budgets to be able to do kind of, different things. But I think you're seeing cool work come out of everywhere in this country.
Of course.
That's been the joy of seeing that in the groups,
Yeah, even in New York, like you're shooting a $20-30 million house, but it's like it needs a gut renovation, but it's only $30 million just because it's on Park Avenue and stuff too. So like price doesn't always equal like you're going to make a better product too. It's all determined on like I've shot places that are $1 million that are way cooler than some of the $20-30 million places I've shot. And that's one thing I've learned too. It's like I now like. I don't take the smaller apartments for granted as much too, because it's like those are way more livable and everything too. After shooting in like Central Park Tower, like you have 17,000 square feet over 3 floors. Like I'm gonna like you get lost just walking through that apartment and everything too. What am I gonna do with all of these rooms? Just maintenance alone is insane. If you buy that apartment for $250 million, you're spending $100,000 a month on maintenance, property taxes, amenities, amenity charges, all of that.
Yeah. Well,
and surprisingly, that's
money. Yeah. Money just doesn't matter to those people. But
honestly,
either.
Yeah. We've toured like some of the top 10 most like expensive or richest people in the world. And we've had one of like the top 5 come through, and he didn't want it just because it was going to cost him over $1 million a year just to live in it. And it's like, you can be a billionaire and everything's a drop in the bucket to you too. But logically it's like, that's expensive. You're so much money.
Especially because
dumping.
they're going to be there 2 weeks a year at the most,
or they're not going to live in it at all. They might host a fundraiser once a year in it and stuff too. But other than that, it's an investment.
And that brings up something that I've noticed over the years. And, we're not in a New York market, but we definitely have a luxury market here. And what I've noticed is actually that, in so many years of interacting with homeowners who are selling their property and, seeing all these different types of houses, that actually, I feel like the bigger the house, the less happy you probably are living in that house. Because I think you top out at like, 2,500 square feet, 2,500 square feet and under, and especially if you have a family, you can kind of, you're closer, you share space more, you share things. When I've noticed you shoot these 7,000, even 7,000, which is not 17,000, but 7,000 square foot house, which is an immense house. Mm-hmm. The people still only use the kitchen in the family room, and then they sleep in their bedrooms.
Exactly.
And that's it. None of the other rooms get used whatsoever. And it just becomes this cavernous, echoey house that then actually puts physical distance between yourself and your family. And I've definitely noticed that the bigger the house, I think the less happy you actually are living in it. So that's my big takeaway.
More walls. We need to remove more walls. Just open everything up. Like if you gave me $5 million right now, I'm not going to go buy like in a new development condo. Like I'm going to get just a big warehouse, high ceilings, big windows, no walls. And I'm just going to like decorate. And like, that's the goal for me. I don't want walls. There's too many hallways, too many doors.
Too many hallways and doors. Well, yeah, you're thinking as a videographer.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I don't like these hallways.
Exactly.
I don't get good shots in the hallways. All right. And so you're going to be hanging out in Vegas for 4 days.
Yes, sir.
You're going to do the workshop. There'll be time. So did we cover the workshop enough? I feel like I want to make sure that people know exactly what they're going to do. So they're going to go to a luxury listing.
Yep.
You're going to shoot the video, and then you're going to send them, and you're going to reconvene. Like how you said you're going to reconvene. How are you going to reconvene?
Well, it's going to be like a webinar, I would say. Yeah. Like we're going to get everybody on, and I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to go through my project, and like this is the shot that I chose for this moment. Mm-hmm. This is the music that I chose. These are any sound effects or anything. I put drone here because of this, stuff like that. Just giving my thought process and opening up for questions. I want everyone to ask me anything. And one thing too is like I want you guys to bring some gear to the workshop. Like very simple, just camera and a stabilizer, very, very low lift. You don't have to bring Pelican cases of stuff. But like, I want you guys to be able to get some shots inside these luxury listings and bring that into like a portfolio too. But then also like, it's different than just standing and listening to me demonstrate how to do it. It's different when you actually have your camera and you're figuring out, okay, maybe I need to adjust the settings on my gimbal because it's a little bit too sensitive right now and I'm losing my verticals, or I'm panning left and right in my shots or anything like that too. Right. That's one thing that I recommend and I want people to do. And I want to be able to help people to use and navigate their own stuff. And it's not necessarily we're going to be going through exact settings and everything too. It's going to be a more high level. It's conceptual rather than necessarily. Exactly. Yeah. And technically stuff, like if you have any questions about that, email me before. I have my email in the workshop website for PMRE. So if you have any questions beforehand, just shoot me an email and we'll be able to work it out. All
right, Cody, I'm in. I'm actually not going to take the workshop because I don't shoot video.
That's okay.
You're a pro anymore. So, but maybe we'll put one of our staff in there. But I think it does sound really great. I'm really excited to sit and listen to your thing on stage. I imagine you're going to go over, some of those same concepts and, in kind of a lighter form and probably have a ton of, because I feel like this podcast has been full of a ton of insights that I think people are going to be able to take. And so I'm very certain that your presentation at PMRE is going to be extremely valuable to people. And And the biggest thing about, being at PMRE and being on stage is you have to take action, right? You have to take action to be there. You have to take action to make sure that you have something to talk about. So it is time now for our action items. And I'm going to go first today because I think Cody's is going to be great. I'm going to go ahead and go first because mine is extremely simple. As we go forward on this podcast, I regress to the very simple action items. But mine is to join one of the Facebook groups, actually, because we talked about that earlier.
That's a good one.
Cody said that he learned so much. So I think, there's the real estate photography group. There's the newer real estate media group, which I think could use a little, a little juice. I mean, Dom started that and, there's people in there, but I think there needs to be some more posting. There's the real estate videography group, which I think Cody is a big part of and posts a lot in. Connect with those peers, throw out some questions. You might get trolled a little bit by certain people, but that's okay. I think we all have thick enough skins that, and even if you post like a crappy video, I think it's okay. There are people who are very willing to give constructive criticism that is helpful. And some people will just be assholes, but they're just assholes and block them, whatever.
Only on my posts.
Yeah. Only on your posts are people assholes. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Just yours. So yeah, there you go. So Cody, hit us with an action item. My action item is get agents in front of the camera and
make that initial investment, whether it's the $500-$800 it takes to buy a wireless lavalier microphone and do your first one for free, eat the cost of that and show that to every client moving forward, saying this is my newest thing. I want you to do this because it increases the performance of the video. It's great for you. You'll be able to use this video in perpetuity. It's you on camera showing your best self. My goal as the videographer is to grow your brands. So let's work together and let's get you in front of the camera. And I think that's a great action item is doing that because honestly, it's really fun, especially when you're working with an agent that you like. It's fun. You get to mess around a little bit, have some fun and work together and brainstorm ideas of what could work. But the biggest thing too is focus on the hooks of those videos too. Focus on the hooks. People's attention spans are very, very short. Hooks, it's your what's the first 3 to 5 seconds of the video? What's going to hook that person in to actually watch the rest of the video too? Even if we have a 1-minute video, if we have a 10-minute video, the hook is incredibly important. And a big thing is price. We try to shy away from saying price in the property tours just in case of price fluctuations and stuff too. Yeah. But location and features is the biggest thing. And honestly, what I've come to realize is you give the audience everything that they should know within that first 10, 15 seconds of the video. How big is the house? Where is it? What are the features and stuff like that? Because they're not going to, I think there was a misconception of people saying, wait till the end to figure out what my favorite feature of this house is or something along the lines of wait till the end. Dude, people don't buy that anymore. Give them everything you want. We're in this location. It's a 4-bed, 3.5 bath, X square feet on whatever lot. It has incredible kitchen, all of that stuff. Have some B-roll over that. Make it snappy. Make it exciting. Have fun with it. Get the agent pumped. And the rest of the video will be so much easier to edit too because you're off to such a great start. So I would say that's my action item. Get the agents in front of the camera, get yourself out of your comfort zone, get the agent out of the comfort zone, and you're going to benefit all the way around. You'll be able to charge more and you'll make the money back on that microphone investment in no time. All
right. I'm pumped. After that, I'm pumped.
As you should be. Let's fucking go.
Boom. Cody Boone, thank you so much for being on Upmarket Pod. And look, we're going to hang out in Las Vegas and you're going to be a fresh 21-year-old. So I am going to totally let you buy me a drink. I mean, it's the least I can do. It is the least I can do.
You know what? It would be an honor, Reed. It'd be an honor to buy you a drink.
Okay. Oh, good. Well, I like that. The young kids know what's up.
Exactly.
All right, Cody. We'll see you in a few months, and I hope we're going to see a bunch of our listeners out there too. All right. Thank you, everybody. Upmarket is a production of Upmarket Studios. This episode was produced by Chelsea Froelich and edited by Bethany Diedrich. Thank you so much for listening, and we really hope you listen to the next one too. In the meantime, our wish for you is to not have to shoot any Friday night Twilight shoots. Thank you for everything.